Solving the Wrestler's Nutrition Matrix by Aaron Osborne for Math 5143, the known equation. Dr. Debate. Today we're going to talk about one of the most critical yet often misunderstood aspects of a wrestler's performance, nutrition. When we think about wrestling, we often focus on the physical grind, the grueling practices, the strength, the technique. But what happens off the mat is just as important. To achieve weight goals, some wrestlers resort to unsafe methods. These include intense excessive exercise, using saunas or vapor impermeable suits, and severely restricting fluids. These practices, in addition to using laxatives, diuretics, and self-induced vomiting, are dangerous and not recommended by leading health organizations. Gibbs, Pickerman, and Sakaya, 2009. For years, the conversation around wrestling, weight, and nutrition has been filled with fear, myths, and misinformation. As a mom of 3 wrestlers, I'm concerned when I hear the words cutting weight. Many athletes sacrifice their health in pursuit of a number on a scale. A wrestler's body is a high-performance machine, and like any machine, it needs the right fuel to run efficiently, recover quickly, and perform at its peak. But what if we could move past the guesswork and hearsay to use a more precise scientific approach? The American College of Sports Medicine and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommend that athletes, including wrestlers, follow a dietary breakdown of 50 to 60% carbs, 20 to 30% protein, and 20 to 25% fats. This provides the necessary energy for performance and recovery, all while promoting long-term health. We're not just going to talk about what to eat, we're going to dive into the numbers. We'll use a tool you might not expect to find in a sports nutrition presentation, matrix equations. By the end of this presentation, you'll see how we can take these 3 everyday meals, create a system of equations, and solve for the exact caloric value of a single gram of protein, a single gram of fat, and a single gram of carbohydrates. This isn't just an academic exercise, it's a powerful way to understand the fundamental building blocks of our food and make smarter, more informed decisions about what we put into our bodies. So let's get ready to wrestle with some numbers and unlock the true power of nutrition. Let's start with breakfast. That's a breakfast that's both delicious and packed with nutrients. Our first meal is overnight oats made with almond milk, a cup of blackberries, and 3 scrambled eggs. We also can't forget the most important nutrient, water, which should be incorporated throughout the day. For our purposes today, we'll focus on the calories we get from our food. We'll use this meal to build the first equation. To do this, we need to know what the macronutrient grams for each item are. There are numerous apps that athletes can use to track their food, and they get instant information about calories and macronutrients. Our macros for this meal is 56.2 grams of carbs, 32 grams of protein, and 22.9 grams of fat for a total of about 600 calories. MyFitnessPal 2025. We can represent this as our first equation. 56.2c plus 32p plus 22.9f equals 600. Here, c is the calorie value for 1 gram of carbohydrates, p is the calorie value for 1 gram of protein, and f is the calorie value for 1 gram of fat. Although the use of matrices dates to ancient Chinese civilizations, it was a Swiss mathematician, Gabriel Kramer, that found one must have n equations to solve for n unknown variables. American College of Education, 2023. So we need 2 more equations since we have 3 variables. This lunch is designed to sustained energy with a great mix of protein and complex carbs. When we tally up the macros for this lunch, we find it contains 62.9 grams of carbs, 49.1 grams of protein, and 13.5 grams of fat, totaling 738 calories. So our second equation is 62.9c plus 49.1p plus 13.5f equals 738. We're one step closer to solving our nutritional puzzle. Now for our final meal. Dinner is designed for recovery and a good night's sleep. We have baked salmon, 1 cup of quinoa, and 1 cup of roasted broccoli. This meal is loaded with high-quality protein and essential fatty acids to reduce inflammation, along with complex carbs to replenish muscle energy stores. When we calculate the macros for this meal, we get 36.2 grams of carbs, 46.1 grams of protein, and 24.6 grams of fat. This meal totals approximately 600 calories. So our third and final equation is 36.2c plus 46.1p plus 24.6f equals 596. And there we have it. We've taken three simple meals and turned them into a powerful system of three linear equations. In the next part of our presentation, we'll use the matrix algebra to solve for C, P, and F, solving for the caloric value of each macronutrient. Now that we have our three equations, let's put them together in a system that we can solve. It is shown in the upper middle of the slide. We also need to represent this system as a matrix equation, which looks like matrix A times matrix X equals matrix B. A is our coefficient matrix containing the macronutrient grams for each meal. X is our variable matrix, which we are trying to solve for. It contains our unknown values, the calories per gram of carbs, protein, and fat. And B is our result matrix containing the total calories for each meal. To solve for X, we need to find the inverse of matrix A and multiply it by matrix B. This is where Desmos comes in. It's a fantastic free tool that can do all the heavy lifting for us. We'll input our coefficient matrix A and our result matrix B into the calculator and ask it to calculate A inverse times B. While our results of 5.6 calories for carbs, 7.2 for protein, and 2.5 for fat aren't the exact scientific values of 4, 4, and 9 suggested for athletes by Tomsky 2017, these small differences are a great reminder that online nutrition trackers and food labels can have slight inaccuracies. However, for a wrestler focusing on their next weigh-in, trying to limit the fat intake and increase protein and carbs for energy is normal practice. The values in our daily diet here are close enough to be considered a reasonable guide. Here are the percentage of total calories for each nutrient for each meal. Look down the column for breakfast and notice that we got 52.5% for carbs. The percentage of protein in our calorie intake is 38.4, leaving 9.5 for fat. At lunch plus the snack, the percentage of carbs in the calorie intake is 47.7%. For protein is 47.9, and for fat, it's 4.6%. Down the dinner column, you notice the percentage of carbs in the calorie intake is 34%. For protein, it's 55.7, and for fat, it is 10.4. The protein is certainly higher in this menu that I chose. A person's ability to use protein is impacted by many factors, including age, sex, and the intensity and duration of their exercise. A wrestler's energy and carbohydrate intake also play a crucial role in how their body uses protein for muscle repair. American College of Sports Medicine, 2009. To help the most important wrestlers in my life, we began this journey by looking at three simple meals and ended by solving a complex problem using matrices. Let's take a final look at our results. Our calculations for a single day of eating show a range of macro percentages. For breakfast, again, it was 52.5% carbs, 38.4% protein, and 9.5% fat. Lunch and the snack were 47.7% carbs, 47.9% protein, and 4.6% fat. Dinner came in at 34% carbs, 55.7% protein, and 10.4% fat. When we compare these to the recommendations from the American College of Sports Medicine, which suggest a daily range of 50 to 60% carbs, 20 to 30% protein, and 20 to 25% fats, it's clear we have some areas for improvement. Our meals are a little heavy on protein, and our fat intake is a bit low, especially at lunch. This exercise shows us that even when eating healthy, it's easy to get out of the recommended balance. However, when my sons are lifting and bulking in the summer months, they want more protein to build muscle. The beauty of this is that it gives us a tangible way to make adjustments. By understanding the numbers, we can strategically adjust our food choices, as I actually did while building this presentation. For instance, to get our meals closer to the recommendations, We could add a serving of nuts or avocado to increase the fat. Beyond the numbers, this activity serves as a powerful demonstration of how math connects to our daily lives. By setting up three linear equations with three unknowns, we were able to model a real-world problem. Using a tool like the Desmos matrix calculator, we could efficiently solve for the unknowns by calculating the inverse of matrix A and multiplying it by matrix B. This process not only gave us a precise answer, but also showed how we can use high school level math to demystify something as complex as nutrition. I believe this type of activity would resonate with high school students, especially athletes. It moves beyond abstract problems and shows them a direct application of linear algebra in the context of their own health and athletic performance. It empowers them to be more aware and to make better choices, all while reinforcing critical mathematical concepts. And for me, this is more than just a presentation. It's a way to ensure that the three most important wrestlers in my life, my sons, have the knowledge to fuel their bodies and compete in the safest and smartest way possible. Thanks for coming to this presentation today.